What's up, family? Welcome to this live. Thank y'all for joining. If you can hear my voice, drop an emoji so I know that you can hear me. I'm sure you can hear the neighbors in the background. Got a family of roosters in the little Balinese villa next door. I'm surrounded by amazing tropical birds. Feeling very blessed this afternoon in Bali. Awesome, y'all can hear me. Sweet. So I'm going to be talking about, dating in 2022. So whether you're in a relationship, you're feeling someone out, or you're single and you're just meeting people, we call that dating. And why is it so difficult? Why are so many people reporting? And this is from the various communities I'm a part of, from clients, from, hearsay, and also just from reading, articles, media, news propaganda, etc. Some of it's decent, most of it's disinformation, but people seem to be having an issue, and particularly men and women in the millennial Gen Z range are complaining about the lack of good men and women, right? So drop an emoji if you can resonate with that, first off. Has that been your experience? And second off, why is this? Why is the most primal, natural thing, which is for the masculine and feminine to unite, to create intimacy and sexual attraction and love, and then create a symbiosis, basically, create a partnership that then secures the future of the species and also is an amazing leadership healing tool for the community. Why is this so hard? This should be the most natural thing that we do. So something's off here, right? Something's wrong. And well, you can clearly look at generational trauma and the generational gap of our parents. Look at your parents. Look at their parents. Were they successful at relating, in all of its aspects? Were they able to maintain sexual intimacy? Were they having high polarity? Were they in touch with their primal instincts? Were they communicating effectively? Were they resolving conflict? Were they raising a family in a good way? Were they treating finances correctly? Were their emotions clear? And for most people, they did the best they could, and we love them, obviously. I love my mom and dad. And, they really fucked it up in many ways. And that doesn't mean we blame them or go on the warpath against them. What that means is we get really curious. Why is that? Why is the masculine-feminine dynamic so lost as an art and a science nowadays? And now we have, 50 genders, and we have people denying the existence of men and women biologically, and, competing or, at best confusing themselves with what our DNA, our literal makeup, and our physicality demand, which is what I call primal polarity, or the attraction and dance of the masculine and feminine energy. So if you're resonating with me here, drop something in the comments, whether it's a question or a comment on what I'm speaking to here. And if you have questions, I'd love to answer them, because that'll make this more interesting than just me sitting here ranting to you. I did a masterclass last night, which if you want the recording for that, head to the link in my bio or just send me a DM, get on the newsletter or the Telegram channel where I'm dropping that. But we're basically breaking down and demystifying the deep distortions and also just the basic principles of masculine and feminine dynamics. So some of them look like this. The masculine, if you're a masculine being, most are in male bodies, but some are in female bodies. If you're a masculine being, you're going to succeed by leading and being decisive. And you're going to succeed by being very clear mentally and using your presence and consciousness to penetrate and create containers in the world, specifically for the feminine. But also in business and career and art, but in relationship to the feminine, this is going to be really powerful. You're also probably going to be good at protection and provision, and you're going to be creative and maybe be a technology or an innovator power in your community or in your workplace, right? It's just characterizations. If you're the feminine, you're a feminine-led being, which most are in female bodies, you are going to be intuitive. You're going to be highly intuitive. You're going to be highly powerful as an oracle and as a sense maker in real time, using the wisdom of your body, of your heart, of emotions, of sensations. And you're going to be very emotive. So Your pleasure, your emotional state, your senses and feelings are going to be changing in the moment. And the best way that you can navigate them is actually to express them and ride them, whether it's in the silence of your own body or in your environment, and open your heart as love and open with desire. And this is going to inform the whole reality around you. It's going to magnetize amazing things to you. It's also going to make you amazing at social mastery and tracking and relating to the tribe as a whole, which is going to be amazing as a woman if you are in the feminine, and it's going to help you attract an amazing mate, and it's also going to help you track the other feminine beings in the tribe and form that sisterhood. You know, as a feminine being, you're also going to be a creatrix, so you're literally able to create life, and the more you can let life force flow through you by staying clear and staying open, the more powerful you're going to, be able to attract opportunities, you're going to be able to attract pleasure, and the more that oracular, the oracle ability of being an intuitive medicine woman, being a wild woman is going to open up, and the feminine energy is so receptive. So there's that more you can surrender and receive from life and from other people and from the masculine, the more everything's going to 10x, right? Your health, your wealth, your well-being, your emotional state. And there's really no limit because the feminine can hold so much because it's receptive. And so those are the basic ideas here for those that maybe were like, what do you mean masculine, feminine? What does that mean? What is it? A lot of people get it confused, and rightly so. No one's teaching this. You'd have to go into, Taoism or Tantra or yoga, or you have to go deep into the relationship world where people have spent their lifetimes, studying this and gathering data and etc., and kind of giving names to some of these things, because no one in school will teach you this, right? And certainly your parents and a lot of folks that are trying to practice this won't teach this. So why is that? It's pretty crazy. You'd think we would need a map to navigate romance and navigate love, because it's a huge part of our lives, right? Yeah, Scott's saying ideologies, shit's crazy. Why is masculine feminine in ideology after millions of years in natural balance in nature? It's a great question. Why is that? Anyone else got questions? WolfOX says, happily coupled. Still find this topic interesting, looking at my friends jumping from one to the next rapidly. Yeah, so if you're happily coupled, this is an amazing opportunity for you. What are some of the principles? Or what has led to you being happily coupled? Like, what happened there? And if that's working for you, why, right? And then watching friends jumping rapidly, this is a big one. And I think a lot of folks get this one confused, where because of dating apps and the culture, a lot of people do spend, not much time in one relationship before jumping straight to the next one, which is pretty crazy. And this kind of serial monogamy, or even, polyamory, whatever, if you're having multiple partners at once, it'll get you confused a lot of the time. So it can trap you, because when you don't actually settle in and experience the wound or the core energy of the masculine-feminine dynamic in one place, this can really cause struggles, because you won't get to the juice, and this will cause you to repeat the pattern again and again and again, because you don't fulfill the lesson, right? And we all need intimacy, and we all need love. So there's nothing wrong with experimenting and dating. And it's a human need. It's important. Human touch is extremely important. It's at a base level. Just watching so my phone doesn't overheat here in the sun. But how you get that is huge. I was seeing a post today, which is super powerful, around the feminine's ability to amplify, right? So as a woman, when you have sex with a man, anything he's holding, his intentions, his energy, his finances, his emotions, you're going to amplify 100x, right? So when you let a man into your body, you're going to amplify his energy, because that's what the feminine does. She's receptive, and she's a magnet, and the feminine body and the feminine emotion and love can just blow up in energy. And this is where sex magic comes in, and this is where, the female body can experience that in a huge range. So if you're having casual sex or you're just with partners, without, going deeper or really experiencing, alignment, attunement, agreements, boundaries, you're not, going deep in consciousness with them also, even if it's a one-night stand, you're going to manifest some wild shit. And so a lot of women are in these patterns of trauma bonding and wounding. So are men, because they're not using discernment. And again, no one's teaching this, and people kind of have to learn the hard way. And a lot of people just don't understand how powerful sexuality is, how powerful attraction and your mental and emotional energy become in a field when you're in that state. And so I'm kind of getting more to the esoteric side, which is not what I'm going to be teaching in this upcoming container, Primal Polarity. It's going to be much more the practical, energetic side. But this is important to understand too, because there's so much hidden from humanity around how powerful your sexuality is. It's literally magic, and it's literally the highest form of creativity. And it's so distorted and sold to us by corporations, and it's completely shit on, by things like dating apps and porn and club culture and kind of the mainstream version of it, right? Which ultimately there's nothing wrong with any of that, like that's fine, but you can't stay there. It's a phase. So I'm curious what y'all think about this. WolfOX says, well, we're happy mostly because we're following a particular Eastern teaching. Thankfully, our teachers gave us wisdom to work and keep our happy state. Amazing. Eastern teachings are pretty good at this, depending on which one. Michael Saucerson in the house. What's up, brother? No, exoteric. That's actually what we practice. Amazing. So you're talking about like an exoteric, wisdom teaching that's worked in your relationship. That's amazing. So yeah, I'm curious, who in here is dating right now? Like who's single or is, they're not in a long-term relationship right now and they're looking, what is that experience for you? Let's hear from the people who are actually in that. Are you using dating apps? Are you using Instagram to date? What's up, Michael? Are you using, dating websites like OkCupid? Are you meeting people in person? Are you going to events and meeting people? And how's that working out for you? What's your experience with that? Zachary says, I'm single but calling in a sacred union. This is an interesting term, and you hear this a lot in the spiritual community. Sacred union. First off, what does that mean to you? It's important to define. And when you're calling something in, what does that mean, right? And there's a science and an art here, but calling something in. Gail Carmina, hello. You have a question you want to share? I see Coach Isabel coming on, Mega Dave, Instamolek, Michelle Phoenix, John Early in the house, Star Spell, Paracolo, Miss Galaxy. Thank y'all for being here. If you want a question or, say what up, where you're tuning in from, type that in the comments. Just did a masterclass last night, yesterday, your morning time, around demystifying masculine and feminine dynamics, where we went deeper into the masculine's need to lead and hold a container and help the feminine feel safe, and then the feminine's ability to surrender and kind of test and open as love, sexually and emotionally, to create that polarity arc of energy. So if you want that and you want to watch the replay, that's going out on my newsletter in a few hours. So, hit the link in my bio or send me a DM right now and you'll get that replay. And then the next class, the third in the series, is going to be this Thursday evening, Central Time. So stay tuned for that. Zachary says, holding the intention while taking authentic action towards it. Amazing. So the big thing here is, yes, calling it in, holding intention, right? Like, this is what I want, and just being clear about that. And then it is about the action. So you have to take the action in that direction, which means, you got to get out there. You got to, send the message. You got to get on the phone call. You got to go on the date. You got to do your due diligence, right? It's huge. And the main thing when you say authentic action is that you have a set of principles or boundaries on what you're looking for. And this is extremely important. So, yes. Thank you for sharing that. Isabel, yeah, if you want that class, just shoot me a DM or hop on the newsletter. You'll get it. It's also on my Telegram channel. And basically, one of the big themes from the class was that a lot of people are in relationships where the man or the masculine, there's some women and men, who don't feel provided for. So they want to be protected and provided for, but they actually, as the feminine, are not allowing that energy. They're not letting it come. So they're not being receptive. So their masculine partner is actually kind of trying, but because of the people pleaser and nice guy programs, they're getting stuck and misstepping, and then the feminine is not allowing it in, and they get into this loop. And this creates trauma, and this creates drama. And this is a big it's a big pattern. And these are some of the things I'm going to break down in the next class, because I feel like there's just so many commonly asked patterns that keep coming up, and it's important that we touch on those. Paracalo provision, single, patiently dating, not using the apps, and I've been meeting others through truly doing what I love, trusting I'll meet a co-creator, lover in that way. I travel a lot, and that's the challenge. Yeah, I mean, traveling can be a challenge, but it can also be amazing, because if you're traveling and you know the communities you want to be around and be inside of, you're going to meet amazing people. And the best, people traveling are very creative and, usually advanced souls. So, most of my most powerful partners I met traveling. Excuse me. So not using the apps is huge, because that's going to set you up for success where you're not attracting those superficial mates. When you do what you love and you're in the passionate flow and you're going to those places, you're going to meet people in that similar frequency, which is the game changer. So great to hear that. And yeah, feeling pretty complete. I just wanted to hop on, just doing my morning sun and thinking and kind of afternoon sesh here. I wanted to jump on here and just test the water, see if I get some insights, share some info with y'all. So yeah, if you want the recording from the masterclass last night, send me a DM, go into the link in my bio, get on the newsletter on my website. If you want to get into the next class, stay tuned. That's going to drop very soon. You can go to my story, get on the newsletter, you'll see it. The next class is going to be Thursday night. Should be 8 or 9 p.m. Central, and I'll let you know. So it's going to be super important, breaking down things like people pleaser, nice guy, breaking down, the Jezebel or the feminine shadows, and breaking down why so many masculine feminine dynamics either reverse polarity or they lose attraction because someone isn't leading. There's not a decisive masculine energy, or it gets passed to the feminine. And the feminine actually is blocking provision and reception by not trusting and surrendering and, doing the work to break down those armored walls on the heart and the womb, so she can actually move her energy in a way that lets her be superpowered and feminine, magnetic and just flowing energy, so the masculine can respond to that and just lead and just create that supercharge of attraction and polarity. So sneak peek for the class. Send me a DM, Zachary, Percola, Agawa, Gale, Gail. Don't know how to say your handles, but you get it. Thank you for being here. Send me a DM if you're resonating. We can start a conversation. Primal Polarity is an 8-week container. It's going to launch later this week. It's for singles and couples. We're doing an 8-week mastermind on this material, this information. The first 10 folks to sign up will get the best price. It's open for about 30. And couples are going to get a discount. If you have a partner and sign up together, you're going to get an amazing discount. And this is going to be deep. This is the kind of work I wish I had, taken 7 years ago, 6 years ago. This is something I've never done in a forward-facing program. So I'm really excited to be offering it for that. Stay tuned. Appreciate y'all. Have an amazing day out there, and stay in the heart. Don't get caught up in the mind and all the bullshit online.